over the United States of America. They're gathering in Oakland, California, in the Oakland Coliseum for Monster Truck Challenge. They're the 6 best monster trucks in the world. Taurus, Equalizer, Barefoot, Gravedigger, Carolina Crusher, and Bigfoot. And they're all coming up with side-by-side racing here on Monster Truck Challenge on ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Monster Truck Challenge. It's the only place in the world where you can see the 6 best monster trucks side by side. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ken Broo. We have been all over the country, coast to coast. It's our second stop today in Oakland, California. And if you know Oakland, you know that one of the people that likes it the most is the guy behind the wheel of this truck, Jackie Willman in Taurus. Now, if you remember the last time we were here, Willman piloted Taurus to the winner's circle, and he looks good again. Taurus, the fast qualifier on our indoor short track, a time of 2.36 seconds. What it means is Jackie Willman gets the right to choose his lane throughout the competition. Based on qualifying times, here's how the first round of racing shapes up. We've got fast qualifier Taurus continuing the defense of his 91 World Championship in a first-round matchup with the other hot truck of 91, Equalizer. Then it's a battle of feet, Barefoot against Bigfoot. And wrapping up our first round of action, Carolina Crusher against the other Tar Heel, Gravedigger. Hey, but as a wise man once said to me, do you want to talk about it all night or do you want a little action? Let's get some action. Let's go trackside. Here's Joe Lowe.
Thanks, Ken. We're ready to go with Equalizer and Taurus. Jackie Willman and Taurus, the reigning world champion, was our fastest qualifier here. Our own Dan Danner is with him. Let's go down and check it out.
Well, Jack Willman, the #1 qualifier in that big Chevrolet out there tonight.
Yeah, it's a tough deal to get fast qualifier. It's a short track, and it's hard to get traction, and I'm just lucky to be here.
What a great competitor. Jackie Willman driving Taurus out of Granite City, Illinois, following in his dad's footsteps. But he's got a great competitor going against him. David Morris, the Equalizer, and Gary Cook's Equalizer truck doing real well on the circuit so far this year out of Springfield, Tennessee. We're all set to go in Oakland. What a run! What a run! Side by side, Taurus trying to do catch-up. Could not do it. Could not make up the time difference in that hole shot that David Morris picked up in the Equalizer. As you can see, the Equalizer with a nice romp over the cars. Side by side again in slow-mo. You can see the Equalizer has a great lead as he goes over the cars and proceeds to our next round. Your winner, David Morris and Equalizer. What a matchup we have now. Barefoot, Fred Schaefer, and the Barefoot truck going against Bigfoot. Bob and Marilyn Chandler's truck out of St. Louis, Missouri, piloted by Andy Brass. Fred Schaefer lives not too far from the Bigfoot camp, and these guys go at it constantly. So you have a Chevy Ford matchup. There's a shot of Fred and the Barefoot out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. Andy Brass piloting the Bigfoot out of West Alton, Missouri. That's Andy's hometown. He wants us to make mention of that. He does not live in St. Louis. The truck is out of St. Louis. They're staged and set to go. Bigfoot and Barefoot. There they go. Andy Brass and Bigfoot gets a hole shot. The win goes to Barefoot. And Andy Brass looking good off the line, but he made the fatal mistake. He launched. He went up in the air instead of out over the cars. And when you're going straight up, you're not going out and across cars. And the win goes to Barefoot. Here's how he did it. He approaches the ramp, stays low, stretches out, leans out, and comes over that finish line first. One more time, side by side, Bigfoot and Barefoot. Watch the difference. One goes high, one stays low, and Barefoot and Fred Schaefer, the Chevy, go into our next matchup. Here's the truck everybody talks about, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, piloted by Lyle Hancock out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, going against Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. Both North Carolina trucks, the Gravedigger with the red headlights, the most feared monster truck in the world today. But Gary Porter's been red hot on this tour in 1992. We're set to go. Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, against Lyle Hancock and Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, the hometown of the Gravedigger. Side by side, they power up. Green light. Whoa, look at this. Look at this. Digger comes over the cars. Gary Porter obviously with the win, but then on the end of the track, at the finish line, Porter's truck just sort of ripped apart. The Carolina Crusher's entire rear end is out from under it. The crowd sits there in amazement. Gary gets out. He is fine. He gave it a great job, but he wants to check and see what's wrong with his truck. And look at that devastation.
Well, Gary Porter, exactly what happened out there?
Evidently, I think when I left the line, I might have cracked my 4-link bars on the rear, and then when I landed, they finished braking. I broke all the 4-link bars. I broke the pinion shaft off and did a lot of damage to the rear of the truck.
Well, I'll tell you what, number 2 qualifier, tough thing to have happen to you.
It was. The truck was running good, and I was looking forward, to maybe I could take a win this time. But, it just wasn't my night, and we'll go outside and regroup and come back.
Now look at this again. The Gravedigger is the truck I was watching like everybody else, because look at his landing. Oh my gosh, you think he's just about lost it. He bounces forward now, and this is about the point where we can see the sparks, and you can see Carolina Crusher is in trouble. Gary Porter knows it, and boom, he does a nice little slide around. Great job of control there. He almost turns it over, and the Carolina Crusher is out of it for the night.
I gotta be like the cover of Sports Illustrated. I mean, the minute I start bragging on somebody, all kinds of bad luck befalls them. There is a silver lining, though, for Taurus. He is the fast loser. That means he gets to come back in round 2. The guy that really had bad luck in this one was Gary Porter in Carolina Crusher. Mechanical problems have knocked him out. So what does it leave us with? David and Fred, Lyle and Jackie. Round 2 of Monster Truck Challenge. It's coming your way in just a moment.
Tonight. Now, from Demented Minds, straight to your home VCR, the most awesome monster truck of them all, Gravedigger. Now, Gravedigger the video brings monster truck thrills into your living room. See Gravedigger smashing, turning piles of cars into piles of pancakes. You'll go inside, you'll go underneath, you'll meet the men who built the ultimate machine. Gravedigger, the video.
You're in trouble.
Get your credit card ready, because when it's your time to go, it is your time. The ultimate home monster truck video. Gravedigger, the video.
Welcome back, everybody, to Monster Truck Challenge. I'm Ken Broo. We're coming to you today from Oakland, California, and inside. And an indoor track requires lightning-quick reflexes off the line. I mean, reaction time off the start line is everything when you get inside. The monster drivers call it cutting a good light. And it means that the one who gets everything out of his ride the quickest is going to win. In our semifinals from Oakland, David Morris and Equalizer will see Fred Schaefer and Barefoot in the other lane. And Gravedigger is standing in for the inoperable Carolina Crusher. We told you about the Crusher's mechanical problems. Lyle Hancock faces Jackie Willman in Taurus, who so far is the fast qualifier and round 1's fast loser. Well, now that we've set the stage, let's bring on the master ceremonies. Our voice of Monster Truck Challenge is Joe Lowe.
The crowd in Oakland loves the monsters like every place else in the country Monster Truck Challenge goes. And here comes David Morris in our semifinals to go against Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. Fred, what's your strategy for this run?
You're going to have to be on the light with that short track like that. If you blink your eyes, you're going to lose. So you're going to have to be on the light and hold to the floor.
And don't blink your eyes, because this guy, David Morris, knows it's a do-or-die situation against Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. One out of Illinois, one out of Tennessee. The crowd's ready to go. The trucks are ready to go in Oakland. Off the line, Equalizer is first. Barefoot trying to catch from behind. Look out, David, you got us. Oh! David Morris could not stop the Equalizer and sideways into the wall, but he's out. He says he's okay. Matter of fact, he's more concerned about the truck. The ISO cam picks up David's run. He's up and over the cars. He is going against Barefoot. It's flat out. Pedal to the metal. But now, Dave, you got to straighten her out and stop. Into the wall he goes. Meanwhile, Fred Schaefer and Barefoot trying to do what he did earlier when he defeated Taurus. He comes up over the cars, tries to stretch out and stay lean and mean, but he just couldn't do it in this run. Your winner, the Equalizer, and David Morris. David kisses the wall. He's going to lose points on this one, but he does advance to our finals. And a tough break for Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. Speaking of Taurus, he was our fastest loser. He comes back to go against Gravedigger. Lyle Hancock driving Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. You know, Dennis is known for his flat-out pedal-to-the-metal style, and that has got to put pressure on Lyle Hancock driving for Team Gravedigger. Matter of fact, we asked him about that.
Dennis has a certain way he wants the truck driven, and it's all out. We try to uphold everything that he's done in the past, and we don't want anybody to get shortchanged on their ticket.
And Lyle Hancock is going up against Jackie Wellman, who's with Dan Danner.
I come back as a fast loser, and I guess I'm up against Gravedigger.
So what changes are you making to the truck now?
I re-geared the truck, and I'm just going to try a couple things different and see what happens.
They're staged and set to go. Side by side, Taurus and Digger. Digger cannot get things going. Jackie Wellman sweeps him. Taurus does not have a bit of problem on the line, and Digger just sits there and spins and spins and spins and can't get going. I think he may have busted a drive shaft. And Jackie Wellman does it again. He's done this so often on Monster Truck Challenge. He comes from behind and just works his way up to the finals. That was an excellent run. And Jackie didn't know what was going on over in the other lane. Gravedigger and Lyle Hancock sat there and spun on the starting line and just couldn't get things together. There you can see Digger is just sort of working his way over the cars. One more time. This is where you can see Digger spinning. Taurus is well on his way. And Ken Broo, Taurus has made it to the finals in Oakland.
Nobody seen Wellman? Look where I am. Taurus just taking a break after that last win. Hey, listen, he'll be the first to admit that he caught a break when Carolina Crusher had all those mechanical problems, and then he got to face a Gravedigger team that was admittedly struggling. But Jackie Wellman knows what he's doing behind the wheel up here. But now he's got to go against David Morris, an Equalizer, and that ought to be a final deluxe. But I picked this truck, and I avoided the Broo curse when he won in that last round, so maybe a little luck will rub off. We'll see. Monster Truck Challenge continues in Oakland in just a moment.
Welcome back to Monster Truck Challenge. And you know, folks, when you come to one of our U.S. Hot Rod Association shows, you not only see world-class monster truck racing, but some other monsters as well, like this 40-foot tall, fire-breathing, car-eating giant Robosaurus. Let's find out more about this other monster.
There are basically our three original creators, Gary Cerveny, Doug Malwicki, and myself. Doug Malwicki is the engineering brains of the whole operation. He was sitting with another engineer at his job at Northrop working on the B-1 bomber project, and the two of them had a discussion where they just said, boy, wouldn't it be neat to build a full-size transformer? And from there, it just went on. We sat down with artists and started sketching out different ideas, and this is what we've ended up with. Robosaurus is an amazing creature. It took over 2 years to put Robosaurus together and a little over $2.1 million. He has 34 hydraulic rams. He's run by a 440-horse twin-turbocharged Cummins diesel engine. And with all that power, he can do pretty much anything he wants. The breathing of the fire is done by two hot air balloon burners located in his nose, which are fed by two 20-gallon propane tanks. And that is activated by basically a couple of spark plugs. he's really a pussycat as long as you keep him fed right. We like to feed him large, full-size cars. We used to try some smaller import cars, but he'd be hungry again an hour later. Robosaurus is going to star in his very own movie. It was produced with Universal Television, and we have high hopes for it. It's a very good movie, and it has a very interesting storyline. It's based in the near future, and it's a story about the love of a father for his son, and the two of them have built a small model Robosaurus, and the father develops the ability to bring this model into its full-size mode, as you see it here, Robosaurus, that can then go out and do in the bad guys.
Coming up on Monster Truck Challenge, the final showdown after these messages.
I'm Ken Broo. Let's bring on the master ceremonies. Our voice of Monster Truck Challenge is Joe Lowe.
Ken, let's take a look at how these trucks got here. Equalizer defeated Taurus in round number 1. In round number 2, he did away with Fred Schaefer and Barefoot. Taurus came back and took out the Gravedigger. So your Monster Smash final pits Equalizer and Taurus here on Monster Truck Challenge. And the crowd is on their feet ready to go. They're pumped up, and it looks like it's gonna be the smash of all times on Monster Truck Challenge. We're about to have a championship. Equalizer and Taurus. Jackie Willman, the reigning world champion, and Taurus out of Granite City, Illinois, going up against David Morris and the Equalizer out of Springfield, Tennessee. Jackie's smiling there. Is he gonna be smiling at the end of the track tonight? Now this guy is always smiling. David Morris out of Springfield, Tennessee, and the Equalizer. David's been driving for Gary Cook's Equalizer team for quite some time. He knows this truck. We're set to go with the final side-by-side in Oakland. Off the line, the Equalizer had him, but Jackie Willman comes from behind for a win. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Willman and Taurus again running against the Equalizer. Now you remember earlier, the first round action, it was Taurus and Equalizer, and Taurus lost with Equalizer advancing. Taurus coming back as the fastest loser. He downed the Equalizer in our final, and now Jack Willman and Taurus become the champion in Oakland, California. You know, in our interview with him earlier, he said he knew he had problems. They had gone out and retooled the truck. They did some suspension changes. They did some engine changes. Whatever they did, it worked. Here it is, the final. The first to roll was the Equalizer. The one that stayed low, lean, and mean was the reigning world champion, and the guy who's parked right now in the winner's circle, the 1991 world champion, Jackie Willman and Taurus, the winner in Oakland, California. Bedliner coming loose and everything else. Jackie's getting down from the truck, going over to talk with Dan Denner of Monster Truck Challenge.
Well, Jack William, you qualified number 1, had a tough first round, came back and took the whole banana home.
Yeah, I had some bad luck first round, come back, and Gravedigger was broke and didn't know it, and got through him, and then Equalizer was a tough race, and I'm just glad to be here in the winner's circle.
Well, earlier you changed the gear in the truck. Do you think that made the difference?
I can't say that it did or not. I don't know if it was leaving as hard as I wanted it to, but I guess it did help a little, because I guess I'm here in the, in the winter, and I guess it helped some.
Well, I'll tell you what, 91 was a big year for you, and you started off this 92 season looking good.
Yeah, I just hope my luck keeps up. I've had some bad luck and good luck both, but looks like it's turning around for the best.
You think Oakland is Jackie Willman's kind of town? Twice Monster Truck Challenge has visited Oakland. Twice Jackie Willman walks away with the big prize. If he didn't like Illinois so much, he'd probably want to move there. Congratulations, Jackie, on another big win. Now, when we come back, we're going to show you some monster trucks that are on the verge of just busting through, and maybe some future competitors here on Monster Truck Challenge. All coming up in just a second. Welcome back, everybody. I know you're a loyal viewer here on Monster Truck Challenge. You know all about Equalizer and Barefoot and even the champ here, Taurus. But did you know there's another circuit with plenty of talented drivers, guys behind the wheel of Tough Enough and First Blood and Invader that are ready to burst on the scene here? As a matter of fact, down in Tampa was a race deluxe. So that's why we called up Joe Lowe and said, Joe, get down to Florida and cover this thing. Here he is.
Now, this packed house here at Tampa Stadium being treated to the same six-truck format you're used to seeing on Monster Truck Challenge. We're catching up with the action, beginning with our semifinal round. John Kwasniewski and the Buffalo Trevor out of Lackawanna, New York, going up against Ray Perkowski and the Invader out of Florissant, Missouri. And John Moore is no problem from Lafayette, Tennessee, going up against Rob Fuchs and First Blood. But first, it's Tremor and Invader. This is a turning course in Tampa. Here they go. Over the cars, side by side, the crucial point right here. They've got to turn, and the Invader using the rear steer, Ray Perkowski, an expert at that, and boom! Ray Perkowski has driven the Invader to a win and a berth in our finals here at Tampa. Here comes John Moore, no problem, up against Rob Fuchs and First Blood. The Bronco in the right-hand lane, First Blood Ford pickup in the left-hand lane, and look at First Blood. He's going way too deep. Meanwhile, John Moore knows how to handle that rear steer, but look at this. First Blood pours it on and goes for the win. The win goes to Rob Fuchs and First Blood. He's going against the Invader in our final in Tampa. Talk about excitement. Two Fords in the final. First Blood and the Invader side by side. We're ready to go. Remember, a turning course. The turn seems to be the key. Our final action, they're both taking it easy. The Invader goes, oh, what's happened? Look at this. The Invader flips. Meanwhile, Rob Fuchs went too wide. He has to back up, straighten out, and go again. He's going to take it easy over the cars. He knows the Invader's on his side like the injured turtle. He's on his back. There's nothing he can do. The win goes to First Blood. Ray Perkowski, okay. He comes out of the Invader. The crowd says, all right, what a show. And here's your winner, Rob Fuchs and First Blood. It was not the prettiest win we've seen on Monster Truck Challenge, but a win all the same. He has trouble on this turn. He cannot hit that post. If he hits the pole, he's disqualified. He comes around, he brakes. He knew he was in trouble. He's going to have to back up. And it was just that Invader flipped over and was too anxious on his turn that kept Rob Fuchs from losing the whole thing right there. Matter of fact, he has to back up, start from scratch, and go over the cars to get to the winner's circle. The red Ford comes all the way in Tampa Stadium for a win. First Blood, what's happening with Invader? This is what happens. He's looking good. Matter of fact, he's got it in the bag up until right here. The rear steer kicks in. Actually, he oversteers it. It takes him too much, takes him over. Gravity gets the best of him, and Ray Perkowski spends a couple of moments staring at the Tampa sky. I got to tell you, folks, this looks bad, but the safety equipment employed by the United States Hot Rod Association in these trucks is such that Ray's just sort of hanging on in there.
See, now you know why the big boys in monster truck racing have to look over their shoulders. That finish between First Blood and Invader was one of the best races I've seen in monster truck racing in a long, long time. Congratulations to Rob Fuchs down in Tampa, and to the man behind the wheel of this rig, Jackie Willman, who's done it again in Taurus, and who's also left. I'm going to be leaving now. We'll see you down the road on our next edition of Monster Truck Challenge. I'm Ken Broo. So long, everybody. Where's the CD player in this thing? Maybe this is it right here.